Oh, here we are. I'm about to get transferred and leave the love of my life, the nurse. She's different, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Now, listen, my mind obviously shipped back to like the penitentiary as is that even my kid? Is she just saying that? Is it some what she have going on out there? You know, I don't know what love is, right? I was gone 22, 23, 24, 25. And before that, I left the streets to go to youth offender prison 17, 18, 19. So the only relationships I ever been in were with these strippers that were helping me do armed robberies. All my life experiences. Think about when you were that age, right? 17, 18, 19, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 when I finally got out. Think about how many memories you have with your friends, family. All mine were from being in these violent institutions as a young man with the chip on his shoulder. And I'm in this weird position because, for one, I just sliced up a chomo, right? And also beat up a sniper that was gunning down the love of my life. I just gave her the best 2 seconds of our life together. She's saying I might have a child, a family. I still have years to do. I don't know where I'm going. And this shit is wild here. They got the Chipley Five, corruption, killing, gladiator fights. I mean, it's really going down in these institutions over here in Florida. And I see I'm gonna get shipped over to Lake Butler. Lake Butler is one of the most notorious prisons. It's like a movie. As soon as you step off the bus, you could be 5 minutes south of Orlando. If you're familiar with Florida, they say Miami. I was in confinement, took the Bluebird, and since I was in disciplinary confinement for battery on an inmate, have give that child molester his whole face look like a road map. But anyway, I get off the bus, I got the Blues Brothers on, and they make you ride inside of a cage when you're on that Bluebird, when you're in type of high security CM. I get off, and anyone that knows Butler, those officers will kill you immediately. And I say, hey, what's up? He's like, Hollywood, come here. And I walk up, I got my glasses on. I think I'm big dog shit. I just over here beat this dude up there, sliced a chomo, you know, had the best 2 seconds of my life with the love of my life. I might have a kid out there. I'm young. I feel like now I'm getting the respect I deserve, right? That's how institutional I was. So he looks at me, the officer, with a cigarette in his mouth. He goes, where you from, Hollywood? I said, Palm Beach. He goes, Miami. And when you're from where I'm from, they don't like that swag. It's a different type of world you're in now. You look here at these articles, they have Klan members killing inmates. You go against the grain, they'll beat you to death, they'll make an example out of you, and they'll bury you, and they'll just say it was an accident. I mean, it's notorious. Glass full of teeth and all that. It's a real wild place, but at the same time, if you know how to do time, it's easy because as sick as this sounds, it's the same shit every day. So a dude can get their head cut off, and you're still gonna go to canteen, yard, and barbershop. They do not break consistency. Yet, if you go against any of the grain, they'll bring you in that laundry room and beat you half to death. So I go to I Block. He looks at my paperwork. He's like, you ain't in here for fucking with no kids, no rape shit, right? I said, no, sir. I'm in here for fucking up a chomo. He said, good for you, boy. You did good, Hollywood. But you're still going to confinement. Sick, he got a big dip in there, and he's smoking like 5 cigarettes. And he's like, and good for you, Hollywood. But you're still going to confinement. I Block 60 days. See ya, boy. So I got to go through a medical thing again. And, they look, tattoos, see if you're in a security threat group, all that. And I Block is crazy. No air conditioning like most prisons in Florida. And it has like a broken or half a roof, and there's bird shits in confinement. It's hard time back there. However, I get situated, I get in there, and I get a letter in the mail. And, that's from my baby, the nurse. She obviously wrote it from a different address and a different name. And, it was her, and she wrote it in kind of code. And it was weird, she didn't mention anything about being pregnant. But I read it, and she got me with that perfume, that seductress. She did it, that succubus. She knew it. She says, basically, hey, baby, I just want to let you know I'm going to ride with you. We're going to figure it out. You're basically telling me, we're meant to be. We're soulmates. She loves me, and that she's going to ride out somewhere around this area. She has a friend that works in the prison I'm at, and she's going to kind of deliver a message that she's like one of her best friends. They went through school together, whatever. Smell me in the end of the letter, right? Okay, you got me back on the hook again. However, one thing is real. Being institutionalized and seeing so much murder and death at a young age, corruption, that I don't believe in hope. I don't believe in love. I'm very cold. And I'm almost feeling guilty that I'm even allowing any emotions to come into my mind or body. Yet, I'm still a man, and it is what it is. Let's go see who her friend is. So, I get out of confinement, and, going through the process, you get put in a unit. Everyone's there. They either just got 5,000 years, life sentences. They're going through transfers, work. All different walks of life are coming through there. So every day you're seeing somebody either get killed or go home. But they're always going to make sure you go to canteen, barbershop, or the yard. So I get called to medical, and I get called in there, and my custody is still a little high, but I don't have to wear the black box on me anymore. But I'm going in there, and I got to sit down and wait. An officer kind of watches everybody. I get called in there, and Lake Butler is one of those towns where they do whatever the fuck they want, and they will kill you for talking to their nurses, without a doubt. And she'll be disgraced from that town. Like, they already hate me because I'm from Palm Beach, but they respect me because I stand for what I stand for. And the difference of South Florida and many other places is we all grew up together, all races, all different, cultures. We all played sports together. So we all have a different type of swag. We're a different breed. But up there, they look at me like I'm a traitor. I'm from South Florida, Palm Beach, Dade, Broward. And you can compartmentalize it however you want. But I'm going to always be me, and there's nothing they can do to change that. Not only are we different breed, we have that swag, and plus, the women love us. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. All kidding aside, though, this is really what I think it is. I think they're just insecure. However, I'm young, with a lot of time, I just put in some work on the chomo, and I think a lot of time, ugly dudes with ugly energy think handsome dudes aren't capable of violence as well. The mistake that my girl made was telling anything to a friend. So I meet her friend. She's a nurse. She's like, hey, baby, just real quick, just want to let you know I can see why she loves you like she does. I'm like, hey, what you doing, man? We in Butler. Calm down. She's like, oh, it's okay, baby. Don't worry about him. She's like, listen, I get it. You are. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, I get it, but what's up? Is she pregnant? She didn't say nothing about that. Just want to say that she love you, and that, she gonna find out where you going and everything like that. But I could use an orderly like you. I'm like, I'm not staying at Butler. Like, what are you talking about? But deep in my head, I'm like, man, this is getting kind of interesting, because nurse number 2 is pretty too. However, I want to know, do I ask her if I have a responsibility out there and what's going on? Like, I need to know something. So she says, all right, baby, for sure. And she's like doing this, like, while she's like being hooked up to these machines and shit, whatever. And she's like brushing up on me, all up on my face, like kind of like pushing up on me. And I tell myself, 100% we're gonna make a mistake here. 100%. We don't want to, but we will. I get back to that dorm, and I'm just like, please let my transfer come before I have to see her again, because I know it's only a matter of time. I make them feel comfortable around me as I protected a nurse from a gunner that was trying to assault her, and I'm very suave. However, I don't take shit from anybody. Don't ever let my kindness get mistaken for a weakness. I'm very Machiavellian. All I do is train, study, and read, so I'm aware of my surroundings, even though I'm having fun. Even though I have that good energy, it's the ones that are watching from a distance, seeing they can never do that, to put a knife in my back. I get called back to medical thinking I'm going to get good news. She's like, listen, I'm going to make you my orderly. She's got food in there. She's got Publix chicken tender sub. That's my weakness. But, hey, listen, I'm really concerned about the baby. What she says? She says she's going to talk to you one-on-one when you get transferred here. But it's going to be a few weeks, and I got you an institutional job as my orderly, because I told him about, how word went around about what you did to the sniper, and, we want that here, because that shit will get somebody killed here, and we definitely want that. So I already know we're going to have a little love triangle here. I feel it. So I'm praying that the Bluebird picks me up and takes me to where I got to go. Man, not doing too bad for prison, right? But I'm just loving it. I'm hanging out, and I don't tell anybody. I keep it all to my chest. She calls me in there, and I tell her I don't want to be her orderly. She gets all mad, like, what? No. And she's like still trying to like seduce me. I'm like, no, I told you I'm not doing that here in Butler. I get back to the dorm. I get called in the laundry room. There's 4 officers waiting to whoop my ass.